like to know how we develop the data, basically, that we collect. And I mentioned earlier that there's a bias against plants on the federally endangered species, but in our agency, the bias is for plants. And so we actually now have 2 full-time botanists. One of them just started a couple, 3 weeks ago. But for the longest, we just had one. But our main person does inventory for the longest was a botanist. And we have, so he would conduct inventory across the state.
So he just goes out into the field and...
He does count, and it uses a number of different methods. Uses a lot of new technology, uses existing data. He uses information from other people as far as professional expertise on where you should look. But also, he can use aerial photography, for example, and predict where, and using topo maps in conjunction with that, and predict where maybe a seep would be, and know where certain plants are. Say that they are adapted to using seeps, which a seep is an area where the water is kind of coming out between 2 different impermeable layers. And so you have, it's not quite a spring, but it's kind of similar to that. So he'll look on a topo map and then look at aerial photography and say, I think if I go to these areas, I might find this suite of species. And he'll go out and inventory those areas. So we don't do survey so much as inventory, and it's kind of a fine line between the difference. But we're not going out necessarily and trying to determine population numbers, although we do some of that. But the main thing is presence, absence. Is it in this location, and what's the general number? Is it a healthy population? And so that is one way that he can do that. And then we also do monitoring, for example, of, say, geocarbon minimum, trying to see what the population numbers over time. So we can tell how the population is doing at this site and also be able to monitor our habitat